What's up, guys? I'm back with another movie review. Today I'm here. Got another one from Scream Factory, and it is 8mm. So this movie stars Nicolas Cage as a detective, private investigator, I should say, who's called in to look into a potential snuff film. This rich old lady ended up seeing a tape of what appeared to be a girl being murdered, and she's very upset about it. She brings in Nicolas Cage because he's one of the few people with the nerves of steel to not only watch it, but, actually look into it and find the people involved and, debunk it or, what have you. He's convinced that snuff films don't actually exist, but once he watches the tape, he's like, well, maybe snuff films do exist after all. So he sets out to, find out whether or not it's actually real, and if so, who created it, and, can he stop it from happening again. He ends up meeting up with Joaquin Phoenix, who's the counter jockey at a porn shop. The two begin this descent into sexual depravity, into this like sex underworld, and they're seeing all these different kind of things, and they run into tapes, but they end up being fakes. They're running into dead ends, and that's the movie, is them trying to track down the people who made the tape, verify if it was real or not, and then take the steps necessary, based on that information. I actually really like this movie. It's a really dark, but it also has like a really dark sense of humor too. So even though it's dealing with some like really nasty stuff, the movie has a good sense of humor, especially between Nicolas Cage and Joaquin Phoenix. It kind of keeps things a little bit light in an otherwise pretty grim movie. One thing I will say is that while it does deal with a lot of sexual content, a lot of kinks and fetishes and whatnot, by modern standards, it's really not that crazy. Back then, the things hadn't quite exploded on the internet, porn-wise, like it is now, with every little fetish being given so much attention. So it does seem a little bit tame and a little bit dated, but it still deals with some pretty harsh subject matter. There's not a lot of nudity. There's not a lot of actual sex. There's a lot of talk about sex. There's a lot of sex devices being shown, but not an actual lot of sleaze. As far as blood, there's a little bit. There's a really nice bullet wound to the neck that's really cool looking. But not a lot of blood, not a lot of violence, just some shooting and some general stuff. This is not torture porn, if that's what you're looking for. It's just kind of a straight-up thriller that involves some depraved elements. If you do like if you've seen 8mm and you like it, or you like the premise of this, I would recommend checking out Hardcore with George C. Scott. It's a much more scaled-back version, but it has a much stronger emotional current and better performances, and it's overall a better movie. So check that out. I will probably have a review up for it eventually. But back to 8mm. Sorry for that tangent, but back to 8mm. It's a really solid movie. I like it. I think it holds up pretty well. Nicolas Cage is good in it. He gets a little bit wiry at times, which is nice, but he never goes completely over the top. Joaquin Phoenix is good as kind of the creepy comic relief character. James Gandolfini and Peter Stormare are absolutely nuts. So gross and slimy and disgusting. They're perfect for the roles. There's not a lot of movies that deal with snuff films and stuff like that, so it's an interesting topic, and I think the movie does a pretty good job. I think it's a really solid movie, and I would definitely recommend it, even to horror fans, because it does have some like very, 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 very light horror vibes, just because of how dark everything is in the weird underground world. The Blu-ray is from Scream Factory. The only thing new on this is an interview with Joel Schumacher. Everything else is the same stuff, okay? So once again, we have a Sony licensed product from Scream Factory, and it has the same transfer. It's an old transfer. It doesn't look bad by any means, but it doesn't look that great. It's not, you don't really be like, wow, this is in HD. It looks like a really kind of low-end Blu-ray transfer. It's certainly passable. It's acceptable, but it's nothing special. And for the price they're asking for the disc, honestly, in my opinion, it's way too overpriced for what you get. In addition to the old transfer, you also get the old extras, the audio commentary track with Schumacher, promotional featurette, trailer, TV spot, still gallery. It's just not a very loaded disc. For the amount of money that they're asking for this, it should have a new scan. It should have a lot new extras. This is just kind of like, if Mill Creek put this out, it would be $8. I mean, honestly, like, there's no reason for it to be the price that it is, other than the fact that Scream Factory knows that people will pay it because you have to collect them all. You know what I mean? So, but if that's you, God bless you, pick it up. For everybody else, I mean, it's probably a little bit high priced for what it is. So it's just up to you. If you want to read my full write-up of the movie and the disc, you can go to markfusion.com and check that out, as well as tons of other Scream Factory releases, horror films, thrillers, all that kind of stuff. You can also check out hundreds of other videos right here in my YouTube playlist. If you like these videos and my reviews, please do hit that sub button. It's a huge way to help me out, direct way to support me, help me to keep making these videos, keep making the content, which I greatly appreciate. And if you really want to go the extra mile, when you visit my site, you can use the links there to buy movies and whatever else you want to do, and that will directly support me as well. And any money I make from that, I will put directly back into the site and this channel by buying even more movies to watch and review. So thank you so much for watching this review of 8mm. Again, really cool movie, but Scream Factory way overpriced on the disc, and old dusty transfer, and not much else, new done on it. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon.